A partly sunny good morning to you on this, the 8th day of July, 2022. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it through yet another week here. We do see some clouds rolling in to cover up that sun, so we're making our way from partly sunny to mostly cloudy. Big difference there. We are approaching our high today of 75. Right now at the airport, they're reporting 70. Midlands got 73, and here at Radio Center, we're reporting 71 degrees. Northeast wind at 13 miles per hour, and a relative humidity of 73. Pretty muggy out there. Barometric pressure 30.11 and rising. As I mentioned, we are reaching our high of 75 degrees today, but around the state, we're seeing temperatures up into the mid-80s. We're also seeing some precipitation mostly south of us and into Indiana, but we do expect to pick up a few scattered showers here and there through the afternoon and into the evening. Mostly it'll be in central and southern Michigan. We'll pick up a little bit, nothing substantial though. We'll see a few hundredths to a quarter of an inch through the evening. Tonight, lows in the mid-50s, 56 locally. These clouds that we see should be clearing up and making way for a very pleasant but dry weekend. Tomorrow we've got highs in the mid to upper 70s with sunny skies. Saturday night we'll have temperatures down into the low 50s. But then Sunday, same thing, sunny skies will reach into the mid 80s. Then, and Sunday night, the UP will start to see some precipitation moving in. Will remain dry for the most part, lows in the low 60s, but we expect to start seeing some of that precipitation moving in on Monday. It'll start reaching lower Michigan with showers, along with some higher temperatures up into the mid-80s and even approaching 90 early next week. Monday night and continuing into Tuesday, though, we expect to see some more rain with thunderstorms, bringing a tenth to a quarter inch to the most of the state. Locally, we see the majority of it we'll be expecting on Tuesday, midday into the afternoon. Then, after that, we dry out yet again for the rest of the week with temperatures in the low to mid-80s. Our long-range outlook takes us through July 21st. We're seeing above average temperatures and below average precipitation coming up. A great combination there. Our record high for today, was set back in 1936. Now, 1936 holds record highs within 3 digits all the way through July 14th, and we won't be reaching anywhere near our record high of 107 degrees for this date. That is unbearably hot. I'd say. I like 75 just fine. The sun will set this evening at 9:18, rise tomorrow morning at 6:04. We'll be right back with our Friday market report, but first, we want to remind you that our weather forecast for today brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today.
We've reached the end of the week. Let's take a look at our Friday market report. First, heading over to Star of the West with Cody Harris. Cody, good morning.
Good morning, Jonathan. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Staying cool with these nice temperatures we're seeing.
I like it. I'm right there with you.
Absolutely. What's on the boards?
Well, I got some good news today, Jonathan. We got all commodities right now. They're up decently high here across the board here this morning. Looking at everything the way it sits right now. Well, right now we got wheat. That's up 41 cents here this morning. $8.38 on the white, $7.88 on the red. New crop wheat is the same as well, up 41, $8.38 on the white, $7.88 on the red. Look over at cash corn, that's up 19 at 628. New crop corn is up 20 at 561. Then looking over at soybeans, cash soybeans are up 25 at 1560. And new crop soybeans are also up 25 at 1325.
So we're making our way back up after a steady 2-week decline. What's driving that?
Well, the main driver kind of across all three commodities here this morning, Jonathan, is, we've seen the last few weeks, some of these big hedge funds here, they have liquidated a major portion of what was a very large, I guess, buying position across all commodities. And I think you're seeing a big bounce just across them that's really influencing these markets here today. As you kind of dive down deeper into each commodity, still, according to corn anyways, we're looking at corn, the southern Midwest, Delta, and Southeast Plains, they've endured and kind of will endure some stressful hot and dry conditions in the near future. So that's definitely affecting that market there, maybe pushing it a little higher. Look over at beans. Domestic demand remains really solid for beans as we look into the next couple months here. In addition to that, we both got palm and bean oil. Those are both higher on the market again this morning. With palm, that's probably pulling beans up here just a little bit here. Then in addition to that, we have a USDA, their July report comes out next Tuesday. Some traders are looking for old crop stocks of beans maybe to decline slightly. In addition to that, new crop ending stocks to fall to maybe like a tight, from what I'm hearing today, 73 million bushel from the current 270 million bushel. And that's based on what, at least the guys I've been talking to, that's based sharply on the lower acreage numbers that we got on our early report here this month. In addition to that, looking over at wheat, we got Paris wheat milling futures. They took off here this morning. And EU, they continue to be the origin of choice to replace the Ukraine wheat. So anytime that market fluctuates, it's definitely going to affect our market. So that's definitely helping us pull up this wheat market here this morning.
All right. Cody, you have a good weekend.
You as well, Jonathan. Thank you.
All right. Cody Harris over at Star of the West. We'll head over to Doug Klein at Oppenheimer in a moment. But first, are you ready to upgrade to a new Ram truck for your family farm? Now is the time to order your new Ram 1500, 2500, or 3500. Go see the folks at Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth, the Great Lakes Bay certified ag dealer. They specialize in all models of new Ram commercial trucks and vans. Ordering is now the way to go. Buy with confidence at Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth since 1852, where family and service sells cars. Market Report also brought to you by Thumb Bank, serving agriculture for over 125 years. 2 locations in Bay City, also Cass City, Caseville, Pigeon, and Bad Axe. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust. And speaking of trust, we're going to head over to Doug Klein now, and I trust that he's going to give us more good news.
Well, I'm going to try.
All right.
Looks like the bounce continues. I wouldn't be afraid to sell into it if it continues much further. But that's everybody's individual decision there. Crude oil is up a couple bucks today, so that's not great. But that's also a bounce that you can sell into if you still got oil stocks sitting around in your portfolio. Let them grow a few more days and probably sell them. The precious metals, they're bouncing a little bit. It's just kind of it's an up bouncy day. We had Boris Johnson is out in the UK. Russia's really happy about that, so that's kind of interesting. And
I can imagine.
Yeah, and then there was an assassination in Japan. Abe was killed. He was a pretty good critic of China and how they treated Taiwan. Not that there's a relationship there, to his death, but it's kind of curious anyway. Bitcoin is back over 21,000. It's 21,700. So that's making somewhat of a comeback again. That there might be a tradable rally there if they can get it to bounce even halfway back to where it was. It's up to 68,000 at one point. So there might be some trading opportunities if you're highly gutsy. That there might be an opportunity there. Payrolls came in today, 372,000. That was more than they expected. And as far as employment goes, I think we're right back to where we were previous to the pandemic debacle that we went through. So So we don't know. Are we in a recession or not? GDP says we're in a recession. Employment says maybe not. So we'll have to see. But it's pretty sure that the Fed's going to raise 3/4 at their next meeting and possibly a half. And I think that half comes in September. So see what happens. Here's your numbers. The September corn, 6.27, up 18 cents. December corn is 6.16 and a quarter, up 20. And the September of 23 corn is 5.88 and a half, up 16 and a quarter. September soybeans, 15.10 and a half, up 25 and a quarter. November soybeans, 13.90 and a half, up 25. And November of 23 soybeans, 12.76 and three quarters, up 18 cents. September wheat is 8.77 and a half, up 41. December wheat, 8.91 and three quarters, up 40 cents. And July of 23 wheat is 8.93, up 36 cents. So crude oil is 92.89. That's up $2 a barrel. Heating oil is 362.65, down 4 and three quarter cents. Gasoline is 344.62, up 2.5 cents. Kind of puts us still at 410 or so in a normal year or a normal market. So again, I don't think you'll see that on this little pullback. Natural gas 613. That's down 13 cents. Currencies, the Canadian US dollar gets you $1.2938 Canadian. That's down 26 ticks. The dollar gets you 136.08 yen. That's up 10 ticks. The euro's at 101.83. That's down 24 ticks. I should say it's up 24 ticks. The dollar's at 106.90. That's down 22 ticks. Gold is at 1742.70, up $3 an ounce. Silver's 19.24, up a nickel. Platinum's at 886.30. It's up $20.60.
All right, Doug, you have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too.
That's Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. We'll be right back with more after this.
How do you make the most of your land? Well, it depends who you ask. If you ask the Wrens or the Caggianos, who run with us on John Deere mowers, they'd tell you.
I mow first, then I do all the trimming.
Get as much done in advance as possible.
I jump out of the house, a cup of coffee, and I'm at work.
But the Upshaws, the Hubbards, and the Allens, who work behind the wheel of John Deere compact tractors, would say,
something that's worth doing isn't always easy.
If it's something you want, just go after it and try it.
And most of all,
I'll make the earth take the shape that I want it to take.
Then there's the Nelsons and the Mosers, who may mention from the seat of their Gator UTVs.
It's important to just take it one day at a time.
You can't be all working up, right?
The most fun we have on the Gator is just ripping around the property.
It's a way of life.
There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. How will you make the most of yours? Nothing runs like a Deere.
Contact one of Tri-County Equipment's 11 locations in Bad Axe, Birch Run, Burton, Caro, Fenton, Lapeer, Marlette, Reese, Rochester Hills, Saginaw, or Sandusky, or visit Tri-County Equipment online at tricountyequipment.com.
Stephanie Zelenko from AgriLiquid joins us now. Stephanie, good morning.
Good morning.
It's another dry one today. Well, we might see a little bit here and there, but what are things looking like out in the field?
So not a huge change since last week. We haven't gotten any significant rainfall across pretty much the entire state. There's a couple areas further south and a little bit north that got lucky, but for the center part of the state, we did not see a huge amount of rainfall. So when we're looking at, trying to preserve some of that yield, making sure we have adequate potassium will help get through that drought stress moment. So I think that's probably the biggest take-home message now is if you're going out with a post-herbicide, maybe add some potassium foliar in with that to help get through these more stressful times that we're seeing.
And once we do get some more water, which hopefully we will early next week, but it won't be a whole lot, what are we expecting? What should we be planning for after that?
So once we get some rain, hopefully early next week, we're going to be starting hitting those reproductive stages of both corn and soybeans. So just watching for any disease that might come in, finalizing that last post-emergence herbicide application on the smaller crops, dry beans, soybeans. And then again, looking at some foliar micronutrients and potassium is always a good thing to kind of boost those yields this time of year.
Have we seen that stress advance at all from last week? Because I know you said you were starting to see it. Has it gotten more prevalent, or are we holding off a little bit?
I think things are holding off. We've had, this morning was a really dewy morning. That helps when we get those, heavy overnight moistures that kind of come up. And then the fact that we had some cloudy days and it was a little bit cooler has helped us, that we didn't have that beating down sun in those 90 degrees that we were getting just over a week ago. So we've had a couple of those days, but then we've had some days of relief that have helped kind of that crop be less stressed a little bit.
For sure. Let's hope we can keep holding on until that rain comes. Stephanie,
Absolutely.
You have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too.
That's Stephanie Zelenko over at AgriLiquid. Let's head over to Maple Hill Nursery now, where Chuck Cervinsky joins us. Chuck, what's going on with crabgrass?
Well, crabgrass is starting to pop up in a lot of lawns lately. The warm temperatures we've had and infrequent rainfall have really caused turf to stop growing in many areas where it's not irrigated and dry out, and that gives crabgrass the chance to grow and flourish. And really, of course, the best defense against crabgrass is to maintain a healthy, dense turf by fertilizing and irrigating throughout the season. But this year, we just have not had the rain for that to happen. So at this point in the game, post-emergence control is the way to control crabgrass. And as it matures during the summer months, it becomes more of a challenge to control it. And multiple applications spaced a few weeks apart are going to be necessary to get control and get a handle on it. As far as chemical control goes, products such as Drive, Acclaim Extra, Tenacity, and Pilex are all effective. For homeowners, though, the primary herbicide you're going to find on store shelves is going to contain quinclorac, and quinclorac provides excellent control of crabgrass at almost any growth stage, especially now. Another good option is Bayer Advanced Crabgrass Killer for lawns, and that's available at most garden centers in either a concentrate or a ready-to-use hose-on spray.
So this dry weather, it's not hurting the plants we don't want around, is it? It's just hurting the ones we do.
Exactly. And crabgrass, if you don't get a handle on it, it becomes a real mess next year as well.
For sure. Chuck, if people want some help from you, where can they go?
They can give us a call here at the store, 989-835-4708. You can also visit our website, www.maplehillmidland.com.
All right. Chuck, you have a good weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
We'll be back with more after these notes.
The versatile Kubota B-Series is a do-it-all tractor. Run powerful attachments that can be easily switched out. It features a hydrostatic transmission and is simple to maintain. The Kubota B-Series. It makes the hard work look easy. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota L-Series is part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. They feature powerful Kubota diesel engines and easy operation. The durable Kubota L-Series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
See Kim Weiss at Lingle Equipment, 3001 Sawyer Drive along I-75 at the M81 Caro exit just south of the Zilwaukee Bridge, Saginaw. Call Kim today at 989-754-7801 or email at k.weiss@lingle1.com.
We've been seeing some more insects out and about, but Michigan Ag Today's CJ Miller says not all of these little creepy crawlies are a negative. Let's listen.
Well, most people don't like bugs. They can be annoying, dirty, and can carry harmful diseases. But not all bugs are bad for you or your farm. Perhaps one of the most beneficial bugs for your farm are dung beetles.
People aren't too excited to hear that they've got dung beetles or hear what they're doing, but they're really great to see on your farm, and I just think it'd be great if people had a good appreciation for how helpful these creatures really are.
And that's Peter Willitson, an expert on insects. He says dung beetles take the feces of livestock and wild animals and recycle it by either consuming it or burying it, which is beneficial to the soil.
They're really good at cleaning up dung and recycling those nutrients to be sure that doesn't just run off in the rain or anything, that those nutrients are put back into the soil. They're also really good at turning over and aerating the soil. So really good at stimulating healthy pasture growth and things like that.
Willitson says that some chemical applications can be harmful to the dung beetle and shouldn't be used.
There are some chemicals that are a little more friendly. Moxidectin, if you're looking for dewormers, is a little less harsh on the beetle, so that's a good choice if you're trying to stimulate a good beetle population. Beetles are also most active in the warmer months, and so if you can time out your treatments in the winter or when it's a bit cooler, the beetles will be less active and just won't be hit as hard if they're not actually visiting the dung when those chemicals are being passed through the system and released in the poop.
He says if you must apply chemicals to your fields during the summer, it's best to rotate out the cattle during application.
Keep your cattle in one pasture while the treatment's going through, and depending on the treatment, that'll often take 3 weeks or so. All of those chemicals will just hit the beetles in that one pasture, and so then if you rotate around, you'll still have healthy beetle populations in other places. And so that can also be really good if you do need to treat for flies. You can hit those fly populations that are following the cattle around and then move them to a pasture which has a healthy beetle population, and they can really help to outcompete the flies that are still around after the treatment.
You can read more about the benefits of dung beetles at MichiganAgToday.com.
You ever think about how the best stuff always comes last? Like dessert and championships and weekends. Why do we have to wait so long for the things we love? Is this a conspiracy? At least farmers who use Sharpen herbicide as a harvest aid can skip to the best part of their season. The fastest dry down and desiccation means they get to a smooth harvest sooner. BASF, we create chemistry. Always read and follow label directions.
Some other agricultural news from Michigan. The Michigan Farmers Union, in collaboration with the Dairy Together Coalition, hosted a meeting in St. John's on Wednesday to discuss the future of dairy farming and push for policy action in the 2023 Farm Bill in an effort to reform dairy markets and ensure that the next generation of dairy farmers have the tools they need to be diverse and resilient. Michigan is the 6th largest producer of milk in the United States, yet the number of dairy farmers is steadily declining, with 700 farms closing in the past 5 years. Market experts and family farm advocates spoke about what elected officials can do to improve the livelihoods of dairy producers, including implementing a growth management plan that would set the amount of milk a single farm can produce in a year to prevent overproduction. For more information on how Michigan Farmers Union and its partners are advocating in these vital dairy reforms, you can go to www.dairytogether.com. Back with a market update at the bottom of the hour at 12:30. Once again, I'm Jonathan Dent in for Terry Henney. We're going to hear from Terry next week, though. He will be returning back to the show. We will look forward to that. But for right now, let's close our program with the playing of our national anthem.